Hello and welcome to the second episode of Girls Stampede. I am joined today by Tricia Sydney, the client experience director from Indie Boards and Cards. Hi, Tricia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Me too. Well, we'll see how it goes in the Shobu Showdown, but for now I'm excited. So we're here to talk about our experiences in the board game hobby, and as I just revealed, do a little bit of Shobu Showdown as well. So we'll start out with going over Shobu, and we will pull down those cameras. There we go. All right, so what do we have here? Many of you have probably seen Shobu before. I know Edward's covered it on the channel, Heavy Cardboard. So you've seen this two-player abstract. Gorgeous game. What you have here in front of you are two sets of home player boards. So these two are going to be my home player boards, one in dark and one in light. And then Tricia has the ones on the opposite side of the rope, one in dark and one in light. In Shobu, you are taking two actions. The first action is your passive action, where you're going to move one of your stones on one of your home boards up to 2 spots. You can move diagonally. So for example, if I wanted to move on my dark board 2 spots like that, I then have the option to move on either of the light boards 2 spots in the exact same direction. It has to be the same number and in the same direction. So I could move on this home board up to like that, or I could move on this board up to like that. You just have to keep that same number in the same direction going for your aggressive move. Now, if there were to be something like this happening over here, then my aggressive move can actually move that as well. I cannot, however, move into another stone, moving 2 stones at once. So that would be an invalid action. And I mention that because you want to make sure that your passive action actually is going to be able to be completed in the aggressive move as well. Otherwise, it's invalid and you'll have to go back and move back that passive action that you did. So again, key points, whichever home board you start, dark or light, you have to move on the opposite color, which is a hard thing to remember when you're in the game, but that is something to keep in mind. That's what makes this a tricky game. And then making sure that your aggressive move is going to be able to be completed just the way that you did your passive move. So as we're playing this, Tricia will call out what piece she wants to move on her home board or my home board, and we'll just refer to them as my home board dark and light and her home board dark and light. Last thing to note, you cannot move your own stones off the board. So if you were about to push in an aggressive move your own stone off, that is not something that you can do, just like you cannot move 2 at once. That said, that's pretty much the game, so we can get started.
All right, and black goes first, correct?
Yeah, I mean, smoke before fire. I guess I should say the goal is I'm supposed to try to get all of your pieces off one of these boards. Or, I guess you should try to get all of my pieces off one of these boards. Whoever does that first wins. So,
or in like Titanic, where there was room for both of them on that door.
I know, but they didn't jump on, and we were kind of we were joking earlier too, because we're like, oh, there's no suicide moves, we can't push off our own piece. But like, what if we're sick of the pandemic and we just
want to float in the ocean now?
Get rid of that piece. I don't need it. So yeah, so no setting up your pieces to fall off onto the ocean of green that we have here. All right, so let's see where I want to swim. I'm going to start with, I apparently really wanted to do this because I was doing this in the example too. So I'm going to go with that and that.
You actually were going slightly where I was planning on going.
Oh, see, good. It's good already. I'm happy with this.
So we'll do this. Okay, so instead of what I was going to do for my first move, I'll modify. I would like to do my dark board, and it'll be my 3rd stone.
Okay.
And I'm just going to move it 1 diagonally towards the left.
This way?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I will go ahead and do it on the board below, on your white board.
All righty.
Thank you.
All right. You are set up. I don't know what you're doing yet, but you're doing something. So you were already planning ahead. You already had like, all right, I'm going to go here.
I had a first move plan.
But you had a first move plan, which apparently I messed up, which, yeah, all right, good on me. I did something there. So let's see. I could do that. I know I can do that. All right. I think I'm okay with this. So I'm going to move on my home board up 1. And that will allow me to move up on this board up 1. Got a stone. Right. I'm really precariously set there, though. I don't know about this. This is probably not the best plan.
All right. Okay. So, you know, what was really funny was when I was watching videos of other people playing, it's so much easier to look at someone else's board and go, no, that's the move you should be making.
Yes.
And when you're staring at your own, you're like,
So true. Most of the times I've played this have been with Edward, and like he'll give up. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm done," and I'm like, "You're so not. You could kill me like right now."
All right. So what I think I'm going to do, this will knock another one off, though. Do I want to do that? Oh, see, there's so much strategy. I'm like, I can get you, but then you can get me.
Yes.
So let's see. If I want to do that. You know what? I'll be aggressive and do it anyways, just for my turn. Okay, so on my passive dark board, if you can take the second stone and move it diagonally to the right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Or twice, please. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
And then on my white board, if you can do that as well.
Oh no! Into the ocean. Evened it up. All right, we got one.
Hopefully they're good swimmers.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hot day out. It's good. We're going to have fun.
Hi, Leslie. I can see one of my friends join.
Oh, yay.
I hope some of my aunts joined. I literally invited all my family. I'm like, it's a pandemic, and you know.
I love this. I love that you invited your family, first of all. And then I liked your story this morning because your car's in the shop, right? Which is not good news. You didn't get good news for this, but I love that the first thing you said was, I told him to text me. I'm going to be live streaming on YouTube, so you don't call.
And he goes, is it okay if I interrupt you during then with a text? I was like, yeah, that's okay.
The text is fine, right? Because you can read that, yes.
I can read that secretly if I need you to ask me, need a car. Not that I know much car stuff, but if you need to, like, yes, go ahead and do this, I can do that.
I know, and most people only know about like really big YouTube channels. And so when I'll say that to somebody like, oh, I'm going to be streaming, so maybe outside of these hours or something that isn't in the hobby, they'll be like, oh, wow, like you have a YouTube channel. And I'm like, it's not that glamorous. Like, it's small niche, but yeah.
Oh, goodness. I have so many people joining. My stepbrother's on here.
Hey, Tricia's family.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for all joining.
Now they get to hear. So you should tell us some of what you do as Director of Client Services over at Indie Boards and Cards.
So I actually started with Action Phase Games in January of 2016. And so Indie Boards and Cards bought Action Phase in June of that year. And then I joined them full time in October of 2016. And so I wear a lot of hats. And I feel like a lot of us in the industry wear a lot of hats because the companies are fairly small. So it's not just like, okay, this is one thing. I do handle all of our customer service. So I answer all of our emails. I do all of our event planning. So any of the conventions you see us at, I'm the one who coordinates everything to make sure our volunteers are awesome and demoing the games and that we have like the spaces that we want and getting everyone to and from the shows.
And that takes experience too. Excuse me while I knock you off, but that does take experience because you don't know if you don't go to these cons what the booth setups is.
What I love about shows is like when you're working at a show and it's like the beforehand and we're all like sweating and like putting together these booths and you look around and everyone's just in the construction phase.
Yeah.
It's like, I always just kind of smile because like no one knows when it's like the prettiness of everything.
Yes.
Of how much work goes behind like into every booth and how much every company, it's like sweat equity to make sure everything looks great for the customer.
Yep. It's so true. And having people, though, that know, because, I mean, I know for myself, I showed up, some cons are what they call naked cons. So you have nothing. You don't have tables. You don't have, it's just this circle and they're like, there you go. This is our square.
Oh yeah, it's like
square, here you go.
Everything I've learned has kind of been just kind of trying to figure out certain cheaper things. So it's like sending stuff to UPS customer service centers where they'll hold your stuff for a week.
Yes.
And then like, okay, I can get chairs and tables cheaper at a Costco, and it costs less to ditch them at the show than it does to rent from the convention center.
This is so true. So if you're at a show, you might be able to pick up furniture last day. I have done. One of my IKEA shelves is from, where did we get that? I think it was Arcane Wonders or something. They were throwing it away and we're like, okay, we'll take that. So we have like an IKEA shelf. But yeah, because it's cheaper, whether it's IKEA or Costco. And often, I mean, you talked about that, like you go up and everybody's busting it. We'll end up going for people. Like I've taken IKEA orders. Like, hey guys, I'm going. Who wants what?
And I think what I really love about this industry is everyone is so willing to like jump in and like lend a hand to somebody. So like if someone's available, they'll totally be like, what do you need? What can I help you with? And like, I just think it's such a nice community.
Yeah. Well, because you know you're going to be in that position at some point in time.
Right. And we're all kind of in that same boat. And if you help someone at some point, someone's going to help you at some point. So
true. I have to say, one of the ones I jumped in on, while you plan your move, I'll tell, one of the ones I jumped in on was Broken Token had the first Gen Con that they had their amazing booth where you could like drop dice down.
The dice you drop down,
The thing was amazing, but you don't know. They got there and they didn't plan enough time the day before. They thought they could work all night. And at Gen Con, you can't. They closed the floor.
They closed the hall down,
They didn't know. So they got there at like 7. It like closes at 8. Everybody had to leave. They're like, no, we have to do this all night. And they're like, nope, you got to get here in the morning. You can get here as early as like 7 a.m. And they were like, oh no. And so I ended up being like, I'll get her early. Our booth's done. We'll just like, but that was like so intricate. And they learned a lesson, man. You got to... You're going to get there early to set up something that's going to be that detailed. But people don't realize that. When you see a booth with that much into it, they've spent an entire day doing that or had tons of volunteers to be able to get that done.
For us now, Gen Con is, I call it a beast just because it's such a large show. Now that we also have acquired Stronghold 2 years ago, having the 2 separate booths to set up. Yeah. And we do like that caravan, so our stuff goes to Origins, and then we have to make sure everything arrives at Gen Con, and then we have to set up the 2 different spaces, so it is like the most hectic, crazy, behind-the-scenes stuff that anyone could not imagine. But it's such like, it turns out so wonderful in the end, and it's like really about the user and the customer experience at the end of the day. So
and adjusting things, because you can have a plan, but then... You know, even with the plans, I remember with Gen Con, when I was setting up the Artana booth, they always had the same place. Great location. Yeah. But there'd always be something that all of a sudden, oh, now it's an author line for signatures that's over here that wasn't there last year. So we don't want to face this way. We want to face this way. Like, so there was always some monkey wrench, right? Like something where you had to adjust and turn and be like, okay, we got to figure this out. So as much as you'd plan.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, if you remember my booth at PAX East this year, they're supposed to be 10 by 10, but you can tell from my sign being 10 by 10 that it wouldn't fit. Yeah. So we like carefully draped the sign, and like the PAX guys helped us to like drape it and like spread it out so it looked like it was standing there.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I was like, I guess this works as long as it looks nice and it doesn't look all like wrinkly. I think we're okay.
Yeah, these are the things, or things don't get delivered. Oh, that's one of the biggest things.
We've had that happen, and it's been an overnight rush. It wasn't our fault. So they were
usually isn't.
It was great to overnight the stuff, but it was a big panic for like a day of like, what do you do when you don't have product at a show? So. There's always something. There's nothing is ever 100% smooth or perfect, but I think it's really how you roll with it. Yes. How good your team is with you to just improvise, and I think at the end of the day we just get stuff done.
Yeah, that's the thing. And really just especially with the team, you know, showing them that confidence, like it's going to be fine, guys. We're going to be fine. We got this.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, I know exactly what I want to do.
All right, what is it?
All right, so on my light board, I would like my number 4 to go diagonal 1 that way to the left.
Okay.
And then on my dark board, I would also like the one number 4 on the second one. And
Yep.
that would go one to the left right there.
I had a feeling something like that might be happening. It's all right. I'm not worried about that board.
I was talking and eyeballing the board.
Yeah, you're like, I see some things I can do. All right, what can I do? I know I can do that. I think I do want to do that. All right. So I'm going to go up 1, 2 on my dark board and 1, 2 on my light board. I feel safe with this.
You feel good about that?
For now. For
now. I also want to tell everybody, because we haven't really announced it yet, we do have a new Kickstarter launching on Tuesday. I'm going to look at the date because I don't know what the date
July
is.
28th. I got you.
Perfect. Good, you have a calendar. So on
no,
July,
I just know that date because I also have a Kickstarter launching July 28th.
Oh, awesome. So yay for both of us.
Yes.
That should be a good day.
Yep.
We have Quest plus Avalon Big Box Deluxe.
Nice.
So Avalon is going to get a deluxeified version this Kickstarter, but Quest is a new game, and it has a lower player count entry point.
Okay.
So with Resistance and with Avalon, it's a 5 to 10 player count, and a lot of times groups have a hard time getting that many people to a table to play a game.
True.
So with Quest, it is now 4 to 10 players.
Okay.
And it actually eliminates the voting for leaders. So a leader gets selected, so it takes out a little bit of that, and it just makes it really streamlined and really nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that speed it up a little bit too?
Yeah, it's great. And there's all new character roles. We've played on TTS, and it's just so much fun, and I'm really excited for everyone to check it out. So
nice. That's great. And so what's the deluxe on Avalon going to have?
So the deluxe is just it's making everything all kind of a little bit more blinged out, the cards, the artwork. And then we're actually going to have a level that so the character tokens are going to be really nice, and the card art's going to be really bold and beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love the colors. I don't want to say Mediterranean colors, but it's like oranges and turquoises.
Yeah, that's kind of Mediterranean. Like that. That's nice.
So
yeah.
It's a very just attractive game to even look at. And then with the higher pledge, we had printed Coup Brazilian art several years ago. Yeah. And it sold out and they never reprinted. So we're going to actually include that in the top tier level too. So if people want that beautiful Brazilian art as well, nice. They can get that with this. And then the biggest catch though is the Quest plus Avalon Deluxe will not be in retail.
Oh, nice. So you need to get it in Kickstarter.
Avalon will go back to retail as just Avalon, and Quest will go to retail, but there won't be this nice deluxe
not together. Yeah.
So
that's good. Gives a reason to back the Kickstarter for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what am I doing here?
What damage are you doing to me now?
Okay, on my light board in my third spot, if you can move my white stone on my lighter board down to.
Which one? One or three?
The second one. Number 3.
Okay, doke. Where are we going? This way?
If you can move it. Oh, hold on. You know what? Pause for 1 sec.
Absolutely.
I want to rethink what I'm doing so I don't get knocked off.
Yeah. Sometimes you start to see it as it moves.
I start to see, I'm like, hold on, because I only have 2 left on that board. So I'd rather get knocked off another board. So
fair. Good strategy.
Let me rethink for 1 sec here. All right. We can do that. One, two. Okay, we'll do this. Take the number 1 on the light board and then move it diagonally 2 to the right.
To this way?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
And then on my dark board, if you can do...
Your dark board.
Oh, sorry, my other one. Can you move that one? Is that one allowed?
Yeah.
Okay, then that one also. Just making sure. Okay.
Yep, you can do your own board. So 2 this way, and off I go. Now I have 2.
All right, that way we're tied on those.
Dangerous, I know. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. All right. Well, I'm not safe there, so I guess I should move that, but then I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to go for it. All right, so I'm going to move 2 this way.
Okay.
I think. Ooh, or I can move this one. I'm going to move 2 this way.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Fine. I'll do that. And then I'm going to do that. And then we will see.
Good move, good move. All right, that poor little guy is standing alone there.
He is. He's alone.
All right. Best bet is to probably move him there. I'm thinking.
He's putting on his life vest. He's getting
I know. And guys, just to preface, this is the first time I played Shobu.
I know. You did so much work to know exactly what you were doing, though. I appreciate that
I've been
so much.
studying a little bit this week.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think I'm going to move the one left on my light board, one to the right.
One to the right.
And then I'm going to move my one on the dark board, on your dark board.
Okay.
The number 3, one to the right. Nicely
done. Not only did you save yourself, but you killed one of my stones. I see. So you won't be able to move.
Hey, Ruel. I was telling Edward, like, when we last saw each other in Boston, who would have thought that wasn't one of the last times anyone would hang out with each other for the rest of the year?
So true. That was not the plan whatsoever.
Definitely not. I mean, this is great, and I'm so happy that you started a channel.
So we can get together and actually talk about things. It's funny, one of the last Kickstarters I worked on was with a good friend of mine, Julia Hearn, and she was like, I enjoyed this process so much just because we got to talk more.
Right? It's like, yes, it's for the audience, but really it's for us.
Right. Exactly. We get to actually have a conversation. This is good. I need to do something with this board over here, I feel like. We are both like just stagnant over here, not doing much, but I could go up that way. Oh. Nope, I can't do that. All right, so I'm going to just go with 1 and 1, I think. Yeah. I'm going to go 1 up here and 1 on dark. Hey, Franny. I think I roped her into this, Jonathan. I don't think it was so much a decision as I was like, Tricia, come on and play a game with me.
But this is a great way to spend a lunch break, though.
It is. I feel like it's a working lunch break, though, because you get to talk about indie boards and cards and stuff, too. Which they are such a good group of people. You work closely with Sydney Eggleston, too, right?
Sydney and Nick Little and Anna. We have such a great team.
Oh, my gosh. Those are all fantastic people.
I feel very, very lucky to work with who I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is okay.
I know.
I know.
This is where it gets tricky.
Huh. Okay. Where do I want to go here? You have some good double blockage going on in that one board.
Yes.
Which you probably did on purpose.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Try to line up some stones, make them help each other out.
Okay, let's see.
I have to say, when we were prepping for this, I like that we both were like, can you suicide your...
Can you just throw yourself off the board? Can you
push yourself off the board? Like, that was like, oh, that may come into play now. And it's like, no, you cannot.
We won't do that, we promise. Okay, so I am going to take on my dark board my number 4 spot and have him go 2 diagonal to the left.
Okay. I don't like how close you are.
Your light board, I will also go 2 to the left.
Same one?
Yeah.
Okay. Pushing me right to the edge. I don't like this. And now you have a lot of double blockage up there.
I'm like, you might be able to knock me off, but then I'm in a better spot to knock you off.
Oh, so. Very, very much so. Very, very much so. This is true. Oh, and I want to go that way, and I can't. I could do that. Oh, I cannot. See, this is where it starts to block you with you have to use your home board as the passive move first.
Yeah.
And so then there's things you want to do, but you don't have stones that can move in
Yes,
that exact
exactly.
way. And that becomes a bit of an issue. All right, that's not a bad move, and that's not a bad move. So I think I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to go on my board. Do I want to do mine? No, because that will set me up here. Oh, I have to. See, this is, I just said this. On my board over, and on my board over.
Okay. All right, so on my light board, if you could take my white stone and move them diagonal to the one opening between yours. Sorry, downward.
Downward, okay.
Yeah.
Right
And
between
then
us.
with my dark board, we're also going to go diagonal with the one that was in the 2 spot. No, on my dark board.
Okay,
Yeah,
the one
so
that
you
was.
can knock
Off I go.
that guy.
All right. Now you're close up there. All right, I can do something there, but then that sets me up for you to be able to knock me off. So I think I'm okay where I am there right now. What I need to do is figure out something for this guy. Aha! I'm looking at him to see if he sees what I see. So I'm going to move up on here.
Okay.
Up on here.
Ah, you got me. Nice.
I didn't see it until either.
I have to laugh because so my family is very competitive when it comes to games.
Right.
I grew up playing like Scrabble and Boggle and Yahtzee and
Right.
Rummikub with my grandmas. And so when it came to family stuff, though, we were like ultra hyper competitive. When I play with most other people, though, I'm just not. But it's because everyone in my family is. So we all get like hyped up.
Yep.
So my mom goes, if you lose the game, don't be upset about it. I'm like, but I don't get upset. I'm like, if you check my BG stats, I only win about 37% of the time.
I like that
"No,
though. So
do."
you started as a kid too. You started
Yeah.
playing with your family
Very,
like
very
really young.
young.
And they were hyper competitive because that's the same with me. Like my
Yes.
family played all the time, super competitive. And I was like one of the only kids allowed to play because I didn't cry. And they were like, you can't, if you're going to cry, we don't want to play with you. Like,
There's no crying in gaming.
Yeah, exactly. That was totally it. Yep. Yeah. I was hoping you would see that. Thanks, Jonathan. I didn't. I honestly didn't. Then I did. And then I was like, oh, there it is. There's the last move.
Very nice.
But yeah, see, this actually really does show how you can play this on a lunch break, still be chatting about work,
Right.
what's going on, you know, your lifetime stuff, and like still get a game of this in. He's making faces at me. Shocked. Shocked, I say. But yeah, so.
Yeah, Marion. See, I got some family on here.
I love that your odds here. See, I beat her by this much. Look at this board up here. Like I was like, how? Oh no! How am I going to defend myself?
It was a very close game. We definitely had boards with each of us having one stone.
One stone left up here. I was getting nervous, and then we saw it at the end. But yeah, so we were saying that your boss came up with your title, Director of Client Experience, which I think is a great title.
It's definitely unique. Like when I first signed on, and I was like, I don't even know what that means. But it's cool because it's so unique.
Right.
That like I like that it's kind of like my own because I don't just do one thing. I do customer service and I do event planning and I run our Kickstarters and I do some of our social media. So I wear so many different hats.
And those are all the client experience. That's everything
Exactly.
that somebody's going to come in to see, right? They're going to see you online. They're going to see you, oh, I have a problem with the game. Can you help me? Or show up at a con someday.
And here I am, and I'm visible everywhere for them. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So anything else? What's your favorite thing that you think you do at this point?
For work?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. You know, when I'm going to shows, I get so tired at shows because, like, we're on our feet all day. But when we're not going to shows, I miss the shows.
Same.
I feel like that's everyone, though.
It's so true.
We get into the circuit of traveling where we're just tired because we're traveling between all the projects. But I think because, you know, the really unique thing about our jobs is, like, our friends live all over the country.
Yeah.
And you only sometimes see them. Like I'll see you in Boston and I'll see you in Philadelphia and I'll see you in Indianapolis, and we don't see each other necessarily outside of those, but it's such a unique, cool thing to have dinner and see like what you can little, if you have any time to like see a little bit of the city with your friends all over the country. Like there's
So
not many
true.
jobs that allow for that. So I think that's just such a cool, very unique niche thing to our community.
Yeah. And I've always, I don't know about you, but I've always had the experience too. When I first joined the hobby, I had people who kind of would take me under their wing and they'd be like, okay, you're new, so you don't know the hot spots here. So what kind of food do you like? Because there's this, we can go here. This is an Uber ride, but it's great. Like, and kind of this like, all right, we're going to all join in and kind of take care of each other. Or, you know, it kind of became the norm. You show up, you take your Uber, but you stop at a Target or a grocery store and you send out to your like mass list of friends of like, what do you need? What am I picking up for you?
Oh,
To
I
bring.
know. You know, it's like Kira Peevely is one of my bestest friends in the industry. And like there was a show where I just had the worst like blistered feet going on from like a new pair of shoes. I don't know why I decided to wear a new pair of tennis shoes to a
Never do that.
show.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. Anyone, just don't do that. And and so she like went and got me these aloe infused socks and some Epsom salt to soak my feet. She was
Yep.
just the sweetest thing. And like everyone's always so willing to just jump in and take care of each other. And
Yes.
so it was like, thank you so much. As I'm like, not really an invalid, but limping along and
No,
got
but
my.
and you need that help, right? And for you to take that Uber ride or to go do this or whatever is going to be just add to your pain at
Exactly.
that point. But somebody else can be like, hey, you know what? I'm going here. Let me grab that for you. And
Yeah, and they're
that's
like, I'll
just,
drop it off for you. I was like, it's
yeah,
like, thank you. It's so great.
it
If
is. It's
you
nice
guys
how
aren't
that
involved in this
happens.
industry, just always stop by our booth, say hello. I love meeting people. I love meeting people who, don't necessarily even love our games, but just love any games. I love
Right.
recommending, just tell me what you like and I can recommend a company for you. I just
Right.
think it's so great to just be inclusive of everyone.
That's so true too. Yeah, I mean, half the time I end up, or even more than that, sometimes recommending games that they're going through. Well, I like this, this, and this. Okay, well that's not what I have here, but go talk to this person. You're
I
gonna
do.
love this game.
I was doing that at a show where my friend Erin was like, how do you even know all these games and
Yeah,
have them all in your head of who makes all of these things? I'm like, it's just something that like you just kind of naturally pick up on it, and it's like you just kind of have all this floating in the back of your head. So if someone, I don't necessarily have a whole ton of kid games, but I can tell you Haba, I can tell you Blue
yes,
Orange, I can tell you what they're making right now, and like,
yeah,
oh, your kids this age, they're really gonna love this. Oh, Pandasaurus right now has this
yes,
really new like roll and write that you're gonna love. So
yep. And I get so excited too because going to Essen and seeing those games there
yeah.
that are then going to get picked up and distributed in the States by somebody
Yeah.
here. I get so excited for them because I will have seen the game and then you see the announcement over in the States and they're like, oh, Pandasaurus is picking up, like the
Yeah.
Mind or whatever. And I'm like, yay! Like,
Right.
you
Because
did
then,
it. Good job, guys. Like, it's
yeah.
so, yeah. So it's not as much competition as you would think in this industry. There's definitely a
Right.
sense of
It's
like,
that rising tide brings up all ships. So it's like, it's nice to just help one another out.
yeah. So you said, so where the Indie Boards and Cards took over Stronghold 2 years ago, as you said, the
Yeah.
most recent Kickstarter, were you part of leading that as well for
Yes, I'm the
Terraforming
one. I'm
Mars?
the one. If you have questions and comments, I'm the
Okay.
one that's in the comments answering everything, and the one in the inbox. And if you email us, I'm the one answering everything. So if you
Okay.
guys ever have any issues or anything, don't worry. I can help take care of you. We check messages Monday through Friday. So
Okay.
unless it's
So
actively running, then we check it on weekends as
yeah,
well.
so you guys added a lot to your catalog with that takeover then. I mean, Terraforming Mars just in itself is huge with all of its
Yeah,
expansions.
it's for everyone who doesn't know. Earlier in the show, I was saying I originally worked for Action Phase, and we
Right.
don't really use Action Phase imprint so much. But Indie Boards and Cards created this umbrella, Indie Game Studios, which has Action Phase, Indie Boards and Cards, and Stronghold under it.
Nice.
And so we do have this giant catalog, which is just really amazing.
But that's a lot of work for you, though.
Yes.
Client experience for a big umbrella, as
It
you
is.
said.
It is. But you know what? It's so great because then it gives us such a more diverse identity.
That's
Because
true.
like every brand, like Stronghold brings a lot of the licensed stuff over from Europe, and
Right.
Indie Boards and Cards. Their biggest wheelhouse is like social deduction games and
Yeah.
interaction. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be social always deduction, but they try to be like very social interactive games. So people have a lot of like interaction with players rather than just like Euro games solo. Where like I love Euro games, but we all know that with Euro games, you know, there's not a whole lot of like playing together. It's more like we're all playing together but solo. So Indie Boards and Cards really strives to do that. And then Action Phase was the brand that originally printed Kodama and originally printed Aeon Zen, which kind of came into the Indie Boards and Cards fold as well. So
Right. Oh, I love Kodama. The artwork on that is so good.
yes,
So
those
good.
Kodamas are adorable.
Yeah. Basically everything in that universe I backed. I was like, yes, absolutely. This is just adorable. I want this.
We don't have plushies, but I guarantee if we did, they'd be such a seller.
Oh, that is actually a really good idea. You should suggest that. Oh, I would totally want a Kodama plushie.
I feel, yeah, you know what? It's so funny too. We when we first sold the very first print run of Kodama, it was at my very first year at PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
And by Gen Con that year, we sold our last one of that print run. And I actually got a little emotional at the show. And
Aww.
like I teared up because I just felt so proud at like
Right.
how well the game did and like how many people just loved it. And I
Yeah.
love it just continues to grow with Duo and even putting like the Kodama universe and Kokoro and then 3D and of course Kodama Force being the latest ones.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good. Heroes Wanted was nice too. Where was that?
That was originally an Action Phase game.
Oh, that was way back. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember Heroes Wanted. All right.
If you guys play with the Elements of Danger expansion, I'm actually Flame. So you guys can play as me.
Nice. That's nice. That is so, yeah. And that's the thing. We start being part of these games. And like, as you said, there's that emotional component when you see things that you've been involved in sell out or do well, or just see people happy playing them.
Yeah,
I mean,
when people like tag me in things, because my friends are always like, "Oh, look at this post," and they tag me in like our games online. It just is like, "Yay!" I'm so glad that people are loving our stuff because
so true.
gaming is supposed to be enjoyable. It's a social thing. I mean, even if we have to be online right now, it's still a social thing where you want to just get together and it's a shared experience with people. So I'm glad that, you know, we can do that.
Yeah, and as you said, even in tabletop or Tabletopia or TTS, you know, you're still getting to come together and kind of do that. Even you and I just playing like this, which I know some folks have been, you know, kind of posting about, that you can take games like this and still do a Zoom call or a Skype call and just play it out the same way that you would in person. And no, it's not the same, but you can still kind of keep in touch and catch up. So. But I am looking forward to that day that conventions start again. I'm happy for this break. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's been nice not to feel.
It's a nice recharge. It's like a refresher, so that we're ready to come back even like stronger when
I can't even imagine once this is over and we're all back together what that's gonna be like. Be a lot of squealing, a lot of hugs, lots of like
so many hugs.
So many, yes, because it's been a while. And so the KS, you said, again, July 28th, right? For the Avalon Deluxe and Quest, which love the idea of lowering the player count. I feel like, so you, at that point, was that spurred on by really just listening to the customers? People saying, like, I want something that we can play at a lower player count, or where did that idea come from?
I think it kind of came from feedback, but also Don is just such an incredible designer.
Okay.
That like he just was kind of like, here's this idea, and here's how I can really make it work with that count now. Like, you know, when you first come up with a game, it's not necessarily something you want to change immediately.
Right.
And so like as years go on and you're like, okay, well, you know, it's really hard to get a larger group. Let's do this thing. And then like thinking about how to make it work at that player count, and it works so seamlessly.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that because you're right. Getting a larger player count for those social deduction games can be really hard. And then just the streamline of not having the vote. I want to see how that works out too, because that sounds good.
Great. And it's great because we're playing with my team because we all know each other so well. So we're like riffing one another so hard.
Nice.
We want to pick them.
Yeah. It's totally the best. That's the best part of it. You're like, wait. I know you. No.
The best is playing with my boss. And I'm like, are you lying?
Yeah, like, I don't know if I trust you. Wait, what? You don't trust me? Maybe not a little bit. So any other games in the pipeline after this next Kickstarter?
We actually have a really great line of games coming out. So Aeons and Outcasts and Kadama Forest, which are Kickstarters earlier this year, are on a boat right now. So they should be going to Kickstarter backers near the end of August and hitting retail in October. And then we have Divvy Dice, which is coming out around Gen Con, which is a new roll and write from Stronghold Games. We have volume 2 and 3 of Sherlock Files coming out later this year.
Nice.
So for everyone who played the first Sherlock Files, there's 3 cases in there, and it plays 1 through 8. It's really an interesting, it's different from the unlock and exit games because everyone has cards. And so when you first get your cards, there's like underlined words, and that's like you can choose one card and read that. And then the rest of it, you either have to decide, like you have to have so many cards in the discard pile to solve.
Okay.
But at any point, if you discard a card and then realize like you needed that pertinent information, you're not allowed to share it. Even though if you remember it, you can't talk about it because it's in the discard.
Oh,
and
so it's like locked in your head if you have that info.
Yes, and so it's called the queue system because you're gonna lay out all the cards, try to decide and like talk through and solve. And then there's a set of questions you're going to answer, and you're going to get points or negative points depending whether you get them correctly. But it's also going to give you those points or negative points based on the cards that you left on the table. If those were the correct cards, or you left the false leads out and like discarded the correct ones.
That's an interesting take on that. I like that. That kind of freshens it up because we do have a lot of unlock games. I love them. I've loved Unlock since it was over. We had it at PAX East as like a thing 3 years ago, and they broke my heart. I was like, I'll buy it, give it to me, and they were like, nope, it's not in the States yet. And I'm like, you just teased me with that? Like, I want the game right now. And so, you know, I've loved them since then, and but that's a nice fresh take. I like it.
And what's really great about it too is if you're done playing, there's no ripping of cards, there's no destroying anything, so you can actually pass it along to a friend.
Nice. Yeah, that's what we did a lot with the Unlock. Like, try this one. Okay, you try this one. Yep. So that's awesome. Really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a car to pick up, so I guess I'll let you go do that.
I do. my poor little Midwest car out in California now with all the rust.
Oh.
It's taken a beating with all the winters it's had, but hopefully with a nice sunny California, it'll
dry out now. It's going to be good. You're going to fix it. It's going to be like, all right, I'm happy now. I'm in LA. It's good. California's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. You were so great. And so I'm super nervous about these guys. Like, I'm not one for the limelight, so I had to jump in with this. And as I was prepping for this, I was like kind of having my freak out moments of like, oh, I don't know if I can do this intro. You were so wonderful to me and said the exact right things to like, you're fine. We're just going to practice. We're going to get it done. You were so great. So thank you.
Yes, let's definitely do this again sometime.
Yep. All right. Well, you know where to find Tricia. Indie Boards and Cards. If you follow up on any of their Kickstarters, you're going to see her there. Check out the Kickstarter coming for the Deluxe Avalon and for Quest next week on July 28th. And everything else that they do, you'll see Tricia, so make sure you say hi. And sorry about that. You almost had me, though.
I'll plan better for next time.
Plan better. There is a coin for that.
A little bit.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Take care. And tomorrow on Heavy Cardboard, there'll be The Cost is being played on Tabletopia at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So see you then.
Thank you, everyone.